Hello, everyone. Hi. Let's give it some time for people to join us. Welcome. Um, Let me see if we have people here. So, hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, whatever you are. We are presenting today the second part of the Wikidata Lab number 20. No, not number 20, number 44. And today we are presenting the Wikidata Lab number 45. And it's the second part of the new features of QuickStatements, and I will be presenting to you the scope of the project. Artur will present the new features, and then we can discuss and present how to use those new features. And most of them are very cool, and we are excited to present to you the new developments that we have been doing since February when we launched the new version of QuickStatements. So starting this, uh, remembering everybody that we are under the French space policy of Wikimedia Brasil, and this is an event organized by Wikimedia Brasil with the support of Wikimedia Deutschland. Wikimedia Deutschland have been supporting us in the QuickStatements development since the beginning, last June 2024, when we started the development, and has been since then one of our supporters and partners on this very popular development that is QuickStatements. Who are we? So my name is Eder Porto. I'm Products and Technology Manager at Wikimedia Brasil for some time now. And Artur Correia Souza, that is the project assistant in Wikimedia Brasil, and Artur will show up in a little bit in the presentation, so he can introduce himself better at at that moment. And just to get everyone up to speed, so we had a Wikidata Lab last February 24th, where we officially announced the new version of QuickStatements called QuickStatements 3.0, developed by Wikimedia Brasil with the support of Wikimedia Deutschland. And since then, we have been having a lot of use of this tool and a lot of testers and a lot of feedback of the functionalities that we presented back then, and suggestions for new features and new functionalities and things that we took into consideration and actually worked into implementing it. So we would like to share what's new, what's happened, and what are the future steps for the QuickStatements development. And in the last Wikidata Lab, we explained, but for everyone that didn't have the chance to see that event, this project, why are we developing QuickStatements? So back in early 2024, we submitted project for the software collaboration for Wikidata, which is a project for software development in the Wikidata and Wikibase ecosystem, launched by Wikimedia Deutschland, funded by the Arcadia Fund. And we submitted a few projects, and QuickStatements 3.0 was selected. And then once the project was approved, we built a team, And we start developing and researching, consulting with the community to understand what are the community priorities with this tool. So that's basically the scope of what the project is and what is its origins, and more details that you want to see are documented, very well documented, in the meta page. The link is here um, on the screen right now, and the slides will be available after the presentation as well, so you can click it. And I will ask for Artur to join me after this part here. So basically, as I said, the quick statements has 3.0 has been um, very used by the testers, community members, Wikidata lovers, quick statements lovers, to test the tool and to actually execute their batches. And we are on a exponential growth with cumulative numbers approaching a exponential curve. We had more than 3,000 batches already, and over that originated over 3 million commands and more than 2 million Wikidata edits. And the base of editors has been growing and growing and growing. We had more than 100 editors by this time. I think that this number changed. I think that we are over a few I don't know how to say in English, but tens. So, and more than 7,000 items were created on Wikidata. A lot of batches were for edit, not creation of items. So we are expecting to see a growth in the creation of items as well. And until 3 days ago, Quick Statements 3.0 ran over 350,000 successful commands. So that's a lot of success. And we have actually a page with the statistics of what the numbers are for successful edits, and errors that occur with the tool, and the growth of editors, the growth of commands and batches. And one can access this statistics page for their account. So if I want to provide statistics of my contribution using Quick Statements 3.0, is just access the link on the tool to see with my username, so I can see my evolution using the tool. And I think I can bring Artur to the stage. Let me put it. Hello, Artur. Good afternoon.
Hello, Eder. Hello, everyone. Nice seeing you
Now,
here. So, what?
I will pass to you for the next
Okay.
slides. Are you able to pass it on?
Yes, I am. Okay, so hello, everyone. I'm Arthur. I am currently project assistant at Wikimedia Brasil, and I was one of the Quick Statements 3.0 developers. So let's see what are the new features besides this one, which is the statistics page. It's one new feature that we have since the tool's launch. So I will be showing you a lot of cool stuff, and if you have any questions, doubts, or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the chat. So previously, users were competing for background workers to run batches when we launched the tool, and we were a little bit worried about having a lot of users using the tool. But right now, we made a refactoring the batch runner, and batches from other users won't stop you from running your batches. So each user has an individual stack of batches to be run one at a time. So when you run your batches, you don't have two of your batches running in parallel. So if you submit a lot of batches, they will be run one at a time, and each user has their own track, their own stack of batches to be run. So you won't be bothered by other users using the tool. And every batch is run in the background. So you can always close QuickStatements 3.0 and return when the batch is finished. If you want to close the tab, you can. So every batch is run in the background. You don't have to worry about keeping your browser tab open. So that's also a good thing. And but about running batches, running at full speed has its costs. So we were constantly hitting 429, the error code from the API, which is too many requests. The API was basically telling us, hey, you're going too fast, calm down, stop editing for a little bit. And it was throwing errors for users. So when you submitted a long batch and you started receiving 429 in your comments, it was an error and you couldn't run the command again. You had to like filter them through the report and create a new batch. Now quick statements stops and waits for a bit before trying again when it receives a 429. So you don't have to worry about too many requests. Quick statements 3.0 is handling that by itself, communicating with the API. So we are constantly reaching max speed. The maximum speed of edits in Wikidata and most wikis is 90 edits per second. So you are constantly hitting that speed. So that was a problem that we had to solve. But the fact that we were hitting that speed so often demonstrates quick statements 3.0 good performance. So you can assume that your batches will be run at basically 90 edits per second. We are trying to almost constantly hit the max speed allowed by the API, and if a 429 happens under the hood, we will wait for a bit and then start the edits again. So run QS3 run. Time estimates, that's also a nice thing. Do you remember that all batches run in the background, so you can always throw your batch there and close the tab? So previously you had to calculate using that max speed, for example. Now you have the estimated time of arrival ETA for batches. So you can see how many episodes of your favorite show you can watch before returning to see the batch's completion. So in the batch status bar, when it shows the total number of commands, commands running, commands finished, errors, and below that number of commands, we have the ETA, and it shows here, for example, 38 minutes. So you can wait 38 minutes before the batch completes. So you can close your tab, watch 1 or 2 episodes, depending on how long the episode is, and come back to see the batch completion. So you can use the estimated time of arrival. And another thing that we have now is rerunning your batches. So previously, users had to recreate batches when errors happened. For example, that 429 that I was talking about, now it's handled automatically. But let's assume that maybe Wikidata server is down for a few minutes and your commands give an error and you want to run the same command again. You can click rerun and it will rerun all the commands that throwed an error. So you can rerun normally with the command combination feature or without the combination. So you are basically modifying the batch for that rerun so that it runs uncombined. By default, QS3 aggregates sets of commands in the same entity to be run the same Wikidata edit, but maybe one of those commands is throwing an error and you want to run them one by one individually, you can use rerun uncombined to do that.
Arthur. And that's a feature that we already had in the quick statements version 2 that do rerun of errors. But then back then you can only rerun the errors. Basically, the default there is that you have a batch running on the page. So if you leave that page, you lose the commands that you already have, and now you can come back and rerun the errors on your batch at any time, since the time that you place it created the batch until later once you come back to that batch, right?
Exactly, exactly. Um, let's continue. Okay, thank you, Eder. Another thing that we have new is to see the whole batch. So previously, the commands list did not present all the commands information when we launched the tool. Now, users can see qualifiers, references, alongside with labels for their statements. So now, previously, this information wasn't being shown when we launched. Now it is. So we have the statement with the property and the value, and the qualifiers and the references grouped by the reference block. So now you can see the whole command in your command list. Now, another thing that's also very important is selecting wiki by Wikibase. So previously, only Wikidata was supported. Now, users can select between Wikidata and test Wikidata. So when you are creating your batch, there's a drop down of Wikibases, and you can select between wikidata.org or test.wikidata.org. So, and also, for developers can more easily deploy QuickStatements 3.0 targeting different wiki bases. So that was a highly demanded feature. And now you can run your batches of both on Wikidata and on test Wikidata. So that's very nice. Um, Now I call Eder again to explain to you about calendars.
Yes. So one of the we had two very high um, the priorities from our research. That one of them, it was to choose which calendar are we adding a date from, and I actually used this example today to bait viewers into our Wikidata lab. I said to them, "Oh, did you know that Frodo Baggins and Bilbo Baggins don't have uh, the birth date on Wikidata?" And people reacted. They were a little bit shocked that by that information. And this is something that we um, have on Wikidata, like the date of birth of someone, even if it is a person or if it is a fictional character, and we don't accept or we don't have a way of adding that into Wikidata. So a way of adding that programmatically. So what we did here, it was to um, add the expanded syntax to add a way for the user that is writing the command of a date on quick statements to define which calendar they are referring to. The default is the Gregorian. They can use the Julian calendar as well. They can the same syntax applies to the quick statements version 2, but now we want, for example, to add information about Frodo Baggins and Bilbo Baggins into Wikidata. We can say these are the actual numbers, the key IDs for them, and their actual date of births according to the calendar of the Shire. So that's the C/C and the ID of the item for the calendar of the Shire on Wikidata. So now people can finally sleep and sleep well, knowing that we can add fictional characters, birth dates, date of death on Wikidata, or even bringing to a more real world we can start adding calendars for other types of calendars from other societies, organizations, and things like that. So we don't need to conform with just 2 calendars. Currently, it shows the URL of the calendar, but that it's something that we can ask with the community, with the help of the community, how to address that and to solve the problem of defining which calendars do we want, or whatever calendar that we want to add into Wikidata, to a Wikidata statement. And I think I can pass it on. So I will call Artur again to talk about the globe and precision. As I mentioned, those are the one of two of the most required priorities from our research. The remaining ones, but because we launched in February with a list of priorities that we solved already back in February, and the remaining ones for the February-June period, it was those two the most required ones. And I will let Artur explain this one.
Okay, great. So previously, coordinates, geographical coordinates, had fixed precision and a fixed globe where that coordinates are located on. So I mean, in general, when you want to input coordinates on Wikidata, you're talking about Earth coordinates, so coordinates in our planet, which is Q2, Earth. But there are some use cases for having coordinates in planets that aren't Earth, in another globes. So now you can select the globe with /g and the ID of the item for that globe. And you can also select different precisions, which is also very important. The default precision is quite high, which is 0.0000001, 0 dot and 5 zeros and then a 1. So it's a quite high precision, and sometimes your data doesn't have that amount of precision. So you can input also different precision with slash and the value for that precision. So the syntax for the precision is -6, which is the default. So if you don't put anything, it's the same as putting slash -6. And -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, and 1, which are all powers of 10. So 10 to the -6, 10 to the -5, 10 to the -4, 10 to the -3, 10 to the -1, for example, is 0.1. 10 to the 0 is 1, and 10 to the 1 is 10. So that are the values for their precisions. We also have arcsec, so an arc of the second, and also arcsec 10, arcsec 100, arcsec 1000, which are fractions of arcsec, and arcminute. So you can choose a lot of precisions to input your data with very high quality data, with it being a very high quality data. So how do you do it? So you put the coordinates, and the syntax for coordinates is at, the same symbol for email. So at, and then the first coordinate / second coordinate, that's the baseline. Then you can put /g and the ID for the globe, and /precision if you want to also input a precision. You can put just a precision for Earth coordinates, or just the globe using the -6 precision as well. So for example, this is the command to add the coordinates of Olympus Mons, which is Q 520, with arcsec precision on Mars, which is Q111. So we are inputting a coordinate that's not on Earth, that's on Mars. So that's very nice as well. And Eder, do you want to talk about the menu?
Yes. So one thing that I really care about, and we in Wikimedia Brazil have been establishing as a principle of development in the last years, is responsiveness and accessibility in our developments and our websites and web development in general, and our apps. So we did a refactoring of the front end of the tool to allow for um, some customization and to answer some accessibility concerns, and um, responsiveness to mobile. So QuickStatements 3.0 is a tool that you can use in your mobile device. Um, the menu now is um, adapted to mobile, and it changed from the last version that we had back in February. So right now you have a menu with all the buttons and all the in desktop you have a top nav bar, and now you have a menu, hamburger menu on mobile. And we also implemented the button for dark mode and light mode. I think all the developers like that we have an option to see the tool in the dark without burning out our eyes at night. So the tool was previously only in it adapt to the preference of the browser, but now you can choose at any time to see in one color, in one mode or the other. And another button that we added into this menu kind of thing in mobile and in desktop is the language selection, and it's the next slide. And basically, the way that we thought about language in QuickStatements is two parts. One is the language that I see the interface. So what the menu shows me as a Portuguese speaker, what the menu says to someone that speaks Japanese, that it's the interface, what the menus and all the things, all the buttons and things like that present displays to the user. That's the interface, and it's dealt with using the translate wiki. So all the strings that appear on the quick statements are now already on translate wiki for the community there to translate if they want, and we incentivize everyone watching and that knows about our projects to go there and translate the strings for quick statements into your language. We already have translations in English, Spanish, Finnish, Luxembourgish, Macedonian, Brazilian Portuguese, Serbian, and Chinese. So we are missing some other languages that are very used in the community of Wikidata and the community of quick statements. So feel free to add and contribute to Translate Wiki project of Quick Statements 3.0. The other part of language is the labels that are presented from the Wikidata commands. So we presented the commands. You present your commands as quick statements, traditional commands, key ID, PID, value that can be key ID as well. And what language does that present to me? So right now you can choose the difference between the two languages. So I have the interface in Portuguese, but I want my labels and everything else to be displayed in English. So I can change that. The default is defined on the configurations of the profile, so people can change there, but they can also change on the navbar the interface language. And another feature that we are implementing, some of those features, the features that we are presenting here, are features that aren't present in QuickStatements version 2, but were not present at the time of the launch of QuickStatements 3.0. And we are catching up with those V2 features, that's what we call. And one of those, very important for people that deal with URLs, commands, and the terminals of developers usually don't even have an interface, usually do things on the command line or terminal. So what we are providing here and implemented here, it was a way of implementing the creation of batches and commands through the URL. That's very useful for tools that use quick statements to add information, edit information, create links from tools on Wiki, for example, Wikibooks, and other tools that link to quick statements. OpenRefine, Zotero, other tools that create quick statements commands can use that as a button to import the commands through to the URL and create the batch there. So that's now implemented, and we are eager to catch some feedback on it. So test it, please test it, and send us feedback. And that's it for the new features that we had for Quick Statements 3.0 since February. It's a lot of features that were developed, and this is a great work for the developers. I want to, before the acknowledgements in the end of the presentation, I want to thank each and every one of the developers personally. So Artur Correia, that is here, uh, Miguel Galvis, that was the senior developer until January, Rafael Lulis and Caribe Silva, that were respectively the senior and the junior developers for this second part of the project since February until May. They did a great work of documenting and refactoring and implementing the community wishes, and we thank them a lot. And I want to just to finish this presentation, I wanted a part of the presentation to be about the future of quick statements. So for the future, what we have in the horizon. So in the right here in this slide, you can see the top, I think 21, if I'm not mistaken, 21, more than 20, priorities that were identified in the research that we did with the community back in October of last year, and some legacy requests on the Quick Statements help page. And as you can see, we did a lot of them, and we resolved a lot of them in this time frame of 1 year. We are now past 17 days from 1 year since we started this project with Wikimedia Deutschland, and we resolve a lot of the community wishes on quick statements. Some of them are still not resolved, and I um, made them in bold here in the lists. Some of them might not be feasible to be implemented, and that's fine. They can be on the list of wishes. Um, some of them might need more work or more detail on what it actually means, and some of them might be another tool. So, for example, the undo edits, personally, I think that calls more in the editor groups, for example, a button to undo the edits there, than quick statements. But that's an opinion of me, but of mine, but that can be discussed with the community. So all of those unfinished priorities or unimplemented priorities will be the legacy of what we see in the future being the priorities, because they are still the priority, the remaining ones. So we might come up with new ones, and that we can do a work of prioritize them. But for now, they are the priorities for the future development that we might do on quick statements, or all the developers that are available are testing the tool can do. But I wanted to focus on the left part of the slide, that is some actions that we think are very feasible to do with not low effort, but with very specific actions. So the first one is to allow Wikidata admins to operate the batches, so they can help with if needed, help the users that are stuck or need help on the quick statements batch that they are running. We want to simplify some of the syntaxes, the new syntaxes that we not the new syntaxes, but some syntax that we use on quick statements might need refactoring, and we want that we think that that can be something that we can tackle in the near future. Um, there's the variable placeholders to connect multiple items. We think that this is next step up to the quick statements the ability to create batches of commands intertwined and dependent on the items that are being created. So we don't have the key IDs for them specifically. So that would be a step up on and that would not be a easy action. This is a step up of complexity on the wishes for the new future. But one, perhaps in the wrong part of the complexity, is to test with different wikibases. So quick statements is the tool to add mass data into a Wikibase instance, as Wikidata is. So what we want to do is to test with other Wikibases to see, is the deployment understandable for a developer that is implementing a Wikibase? Can we integrate the quick statements 3.0 into the Wikibase kit, so we can others can implement the Wikibases already with quick statements 3.0 with all these features and functionalities that we have. And we wanted to extend the question for you all that are watching. What else? What is the new feature for quick statements? Should we focus on those topics? Should we consult with the community, do another research to see what other what other priorities or desires they have. It's easy to assume to do this. We need to test the tool before that. So there are many questions for the future, and we wanted to pass it on these questions for you all, and ask the developers to submit your pull requests. So whenever you find an error on quick statements 3.0, what you should do is to create an issue or declare the issue on the talk page. The talk page will be watched constantly, so we can create the issues for you if you are not if you don't do not want to interact with GitHub. So this is an invitation for you to participate and collaborate with Quick Statements. This is a tool that we took the development since June of 2024, but this is a community tool, so others can contribute, can um, make pull requests and ask for to be um, like I don't know how it's called the term, but ask to be a maintainer of the tool as well. So this doesn't fall with the dozen of all the tools that is all we maintain for some time and then we don't touch it never again. So this is something that I think you all can contribute to. And of course, for the non-developers as well, to test the tool and give your feedback. So this is a great tool. All the functionalities, I'm excited to see it, see them implemented and being used by others. To see the queries that will pop up now that we can add um, the whole information from the to the tokens universe. So add every date and every character. So I'm excited to see a timeline of Middle Earth on on the calendar thing. So try it out, and thanks again for Wikimedia Deutschland for the partnership, for the Arcadia Fund, for the grant in this project. Magnus Mansky, that is always to be remembered when we are talking about quick statements. This is a tool that he developed, and we are now bringing new functionalities to it. The survey respondents that shared with us the priorities, the interviewees, the developers. I already thanked them personally. The testers, everyone that tested the tool and commented on the meta page. Thank you so much, and everyone involved in the happening of this project. And thank you, Artur, again, not as developer now, but as a co-host of this Wikidata Lab. And I think that's
Whether
it. This, yeah. Thank you, and see you next time.
bye bye.
Bye.